Before we begin, I'd like to pay my respects to my teacher, the Most Venerable John May Park, and to Yuhei Kwang Sunim, and to your Sangha. Good to see you all. Today's Dhamma talk is on the 5 hindrances. Now, as we peeled away the layers of the Four Noble Truths, we found the Eightfold Path. And in a cluster of the Eightfold Path, we found right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration, which gives rise to right meditation, which leads us to the 5 hindrances. The 5 hindrances refer to events that can affect focus, mindfulness, and concentration during meditation. They are actually the antidotes for the 5 hindrances of sensual desire, anger, dullness and drowsiness, restlessness and worry, and doubt. Another way of putting it is moving toward, pushing away, sinking down, rising up, flurry and worry, and spinning around. What is the cause of the hindrances? The causes of the hindrances are firstly unwise attention, and secondly unwise reflection. People act on wrong information, presuming that they're right, and later they may or may not see their mistake. The first hindrance is sensual desire. The hindrance of sensual desire is difficult because we're enticed and pulled in many different directions, because sense desire is accompanied by pleasant feeling. Remember that sense pleasures are fleeting, and that true happiness cannot be found in the pleasures of the 5 senses. We want to guard over the doors of all of our senses. We want to be mindful of what we see, what we hear, what we smell, what we taste, what we feel, and what we think. There's a saying in terms of computers, which I'm sure you've all heard, which is garbage in, garbage out. And the same thing can be applied here. If we don't guard our sense doors, and we bring in a whole lot of garbage, one ends up with a lot of garbage. Now, that doesn't mean that one has their head buried in the sand or that one doesn't recognize reality or deal with reality. Sometimes we need to ask ourselves, do I really need to look at this? Do I really need to hear this? Do I really need to experience this? Is this healthy for me in terms of the practice? We need to ask ourselves that question, and that is what's meant by guarding the sense doors. The next hindrance is ill will. The Buddha gave us ways of removing ill will and other distracting thoughts. The first one's called thought substitution. That is, you replace an unskillful thought with a more skillful thought. If you are angry, switch to loving kindness. The idea is to send goodwill to replace ill will. Right effort means you infuse your mind with wholesome good thoughts. He instructed us that we can regard others with onlooking loving kindness, onlooking compassion, and equanimity. Metta, sending out loving kindness, dissolves your aversion at a deeper level. The third hindrance is dullness and drowsiness. The Buddha taught us that we should make an effort to overcome either or both of these. Meditation is the opposite of drowsiness and sleepiness. Meditation is about wakefulness, mindfulness, alertness, awareness. The Buddha compared dullness and drowsiness to being in prison. You're just basically cut off and you can't appreciate what's going on. The fourth hindrance is restlessness and worry, sometimes stated as restlessness and remorse. Now, when we get restless in meditation, that means we're still holding on to something. We're pushing or we're pulling, we just can't seem to let go. The antidote here is to be more into your awareness and just watch the thought go by. And the last hindrance is doubt. And doubt here is referring to problematic wavering, indecision, basically an inability to make up your mind and commit to something. This could be doubt about the Buddha's teachings, or it could be self-doubt. A hindrance means that you've already tested the Buddha's teachings on meditation, and you've had good results. Then doubt could just be from discouragement or some type of inner conflict, not really related to a justifiable doubt. It is good to have a discerning mind and probe into things. As the Buddha told the Kalamas, it is wise to have doubt in a matter which is doubtful. That's not a hindrance, that's intelligence. What we're talking about here is a hindrance where one backslides into thoughts such as, I can't meditate because I think too much. This isn't right for me. This could relate to self-doubt. The Buddha compared doubt to being in a caravan with valuable goods crossing the desert, lost and worried about thieves. When you've made it into a town safely, you are relieved. Doubt is dispelled. At that time, you want to restore confidence. Interrogate the doubt and gather clear instructions, like a good map. And you can further nurture this confidence by having a good person to consult with. Be well, my friends.